Hey, what's up, everybody? This is your boy Kenny, and this is How to Get Away with Murder, Season 4, Episode 1. And the title of this episode is I'm Going Away. Y'all, I am so happy this show is back. It's actually my favorite show on television, and this show is always, complex, and it's so edgy, and I'm so happy that this show is back. And, my girls, shout out to Annalise Keating, who is now Academy Award winning Annalise Keating, may I add. Seeing her come back, Academy Award. Forgive me, y'all. Forgive me. I'm so sorry. I meant, Viola Davis now comes back as Academy Award winning Viola Davis in her role as Annalise Keating. That's what I meant to say. Totally, brain fart right there. Forgive me. But before I get started, let me send out my love and condolences to everyone that was affected by Hurricane Irma, Hurricane Harvey, and Hurricane Jose. And that if you can give relief and support, please do so, because we definitely need to be there for our fellow man, especially in the days and times that we're living in right now. So let me start with this review. Now, the episode opens up. We see that Annalise has sent out texts to all of the Keating Five, along with Bonnie, that she wants to meet for dinner, and that she has something to share with them. Then we get a scene with Laurel and her father, played by Esau Morales. Loved him in La Bamba, and he's playing the role of her father. Now, her father is a part of the Keitel, and if you remember from the season finale of Season 3, he has this minion that works with him named Dominic, who's actually a friend of the family. When Laura went to New York to try to go after what's his name, Charles Mahoney. And she had a gun, and she was actually about to go kill him, and before she can get to him, Dominique intercepted her. So she already knew that was her dad, because Dominique don't make a move without her father's say-so. And her father is part of the cartel, so he got eyes everywhere. So, if anything, her and her father kind of somewhat talked about that. Like, you actually knew when, to send Dominic, because Dominic don't ever appear nowhere without your say-so. So it's kind of funny, I run into him right at that moment. And then, she hasn't been really, talking to her father, since the last time she saw him. But he's there, on campus, wants to spend some time with her. And, and she says that, I'm sorry for not calling you back, but, I was pregnant. And, he asked, was it Frank? And she didn't say. And she said that, but I aborted the baby, and don't tell mom, because you know how crazy mom gets. And then he gets this lady to actually take a picture of the two of them, and we actually see that picture and everything comes back later on at the end of the episode. So I'm definitely gonna get to that. Then it rewinds back to 1 week earlier. Annalise is on a plane. She actually meets this guy named Desmond, who's actually played by her real husband. But yeah, if y'all know his name, put it down in the comments, because I can't. I mean, I've definitely seen him in a lot of things. I've definitely seen him in the new version of Fame. He actually played the father of Naturi Naughton's character. So I'm definitely familiar with his face. I see his face all the time, but I just always be forgetting his name. But if y'all know his name, put it down in the comments. I'll really appreciate it. But he's playing the character of this guy named Desmond. Now, Desmond is trying to talk to her on the plane. At first, she's very dismissive, but she likes the fact that he's charming, so she entertains him, and we also see she gets his number, and we also find out that she's on her way to Memphis. Now, Memphis is where her mom lives, and we saw from Season 3 that her mother is suffering from dementia. And then we also see that there's still this, turmoil between her and her father. But she practically comes there, just to visit her family. We see her sister again. Her sister's a nurse. Her and her sister have a great relationship, and she also has a close relationship with her mom. But her and her dad are it's just bad, and a lot of it is due to the fact that her father's brother, her uncle, raped her when she was a girl, and the mother burned the house down with him in it. So we see that they all sit down and they get together and they're talking and everything, and we come to find out the reason why Annalise is there is because she wants her mother to try out this mental center or whatever, because she's getting old. Because when she first arrives to the house, she knows there's a bell on the door, and then we also come to find out that her mother went to the wrong house. She actually went into a neighbor's house, I think Miss Francine, and she says that Mom gonna get shot if we don't protect her, because she can just wander anywhere. And the father's like, well, that's why I put the bell on the door, so when she hears, she'll know that that's the door, and she'll know not to leave. But then, Annalise is shooting us down like, oh my God, this is ridiculous. You can't take care of her and all of this, and I think she'll be better care. She'll get better help at the memory care center. But then the mother rejected her and was like, you pretty much came here to see me, and this is what you pulling. You didn't really come here to see me. You're just trying to put me away. You're just trying to do away with me. And she's like, then Annalise is like, no, I'm doing this for your safety. She's like, what the hell do you know about safety? She said, people are dying around you all the time. What you know about safety? She got a point. and like the mother just was mad and she storms off. And then we also come to find out that she pretty much was I think talking to her mom or whatever, and she's pretty much what she was doing was that her mother has locked herself in a room and she won't come out. Forgive me. And she was trying to get her mother to talk to her, but then she gets a call from Bonnie. Bonnie lets her know that she's supposed to got some insurance money from the fact that her house was burned down. They pretty much told her that they've actually freezed the release of the insurance money, and that her sister-in-law is actually trying to sue her for the insurance claim. So pretty much we actually see that Annalise has been really trying to stay from not drinking, because we even saw when she was talking to Desmond had a drink and she was looking at that alcohol like crazy. And she's pretty much trying to manage her stress and all of that. And while she's laying in the room, she actually finds Desmond's number. She calls Desmond, and she goes out to meet him. And he was like, I reserved 2 seats at the bar. She's like, I didn't come here to drink. I was like, okay, Annalise, you ready to serve that hot pocket, huh? So her and Desmond go into the room. They about to get it in, and all of a sudden his phone rings as his daughter. So after that, she was completely turned off. And the thing is, she actually introduced herself as Bonnie, not as Annalise. So she gave him a fake name. And then all of a sudden, after he got off the phone, she was like, "Oh, really? You really want to do this after you just answered the phone while we were about to get it in?" And he was like, "No, it's my daughter. I have her call me every day she gets home. I could call her back and she can confirm it, but it would be kind of awkward." So he's still trying to push up on her, and she's just like, she's over it. She leaves, and he's like, "Come on now, come on, Bonnie." And she's like, "My name is Annalise," and walked out. I was like, wow, that was so crazy. Then we get a scene with Connor and Oliver. They're at this pretty much this bachelor party, and it's at a gay club, and this girl is like trying to get Oliver and Connor to participate, but Connor is just straight rude to her. It's like, "Girl, this is a gay bar. Why are you crying over a gay man? Won't you find you another man to mess with and leave us the hell alone?" And then Oliver was like, "Be nice, Connor. What the hell?" And we definitely saw from season 3 that Oliver asked Connor to marry him, and Connor is not trying to deal with this whole marriage question. And he was saying that, why can't we just be in love and just let us and just be, instead of this whole concept of marriage seems like forced and very hetero, all the stigmas that come with marriage. So then Connor gets a text that Annalise wants to meet him, but Oliver didn't get one. But she pretty much texts to go meet Connor. So Connor's like, okay, I'm game with this, and then Oliver's like, well, if you want to skip it, she didn't give me an invitation. We can go to Vegas and get his. She's like, oh, I'm definitely going to dinner with Annalise now. So he's really not trying to deal with this whole question of getting married or none of that. Then we see that back at the house with her mom, her mother had this dementia episode where she was trying to wake up Annalise, saying, we got to get out of here. The house going to burn. Clyde's asleep. We got to get up out of here. We got to go. And we see that she's pulling Annalise, and she's like in panic mode. And, finally, Annalise got her together and was like, Mom, there's no fire. Clyde has been dead for years. And then she looks down and she sees that her mother has, went to the bathroom on herself. And then, she pretty much cleans her mother up, and they sing this Yes Ma'am song. And, we see that her memory comes and it goes. And that's pretty much how dementia is. 1 minute you're sane, and then the next minute you have no clarity whatsoever. And we see that they actually had this bond because she used to sing this song to Annalise when she was a little girl. And then afterwards, the mother said that she'll go to the mental center to check it out. So they go to the mental center. They're asking for $5,000 a month. We can already see how the mother's looking. She does not want to go there. But yes, also let me shout out to the great legend herself, Cicely Tyson. This woman is in her 90s and is still slaying it in acting and on television and on theater. Kudos to you, Cicely Tyson. You are a true inspiration. But in this scene, they pretty much are trying to decide what is best for her. And the father is totally against it. He's like, they're asking for $5,000 a month. I can spend less than that caring for her at home. And Annalise is like, what do you mean care for her at home? You really think you can care for my mother? You couldn't even care for her when you were young. What makes you think you can do it now? I mean, after all, you're the reason why Clyde was in the house in the first place. And she's like, and he just kind of flipped. He's like, Clyde. Like, your mother wasn't even thinking about Clyde until you came back. The reason why she had that episode is because of you. Clyde has never been a part of the equation at all. You are a trigger because every time you come around, she thinks about Clyde and about burning the house. And he was like, look, you are not too old for me to whoop your ass. And I was like, ooh, Daddy's getting real tough with her. But it's like her and her father had this combative relationship. And the reason why she does not like her father, and we found this out in season 3, that her father didn't believe her when she told him about what Clyde did to her. But her mother did. So pretty much the mother, and this is when, she's saying, the mother got between, she's like, you know what, the two of you need to fix this, and y'all need to stop acting like this. This is ridiculous, humiliating me in public like this. I was like, all right, you go, mama, get them together. Get them together. So then we also get a scene with Frank and Bonnie. Frank is actually looking at an office space to purchase for Annalise, and he still got that money for when he put that hit out on Annalise, what caused her to have the car accident where she lost her child. But Bonnie's letting her know that, look, we don't even know if she's gonna get her license back. This space looks like it's too expensive, and also, this is not going to get you back in good graces with Annalise. And he's like, yeah, I know, she still hates me, but at least I can at least help with providing her with an office space where they can work out of. And, Bonnie was adamant, like, look, just because you're doing this doesn't mean Annalise is going to forgive you. So he pretty much invites her, to dinner, with his folks, but she's like, I can't, because I have to go to dinner with Annalise, and the kids. we got to try to, win her back. So then we also see that, Annalise has a moment with her sister. Her sister pretty much says, Dad is wrong for what he said to you. Dementia doesn't turn on and turn off when you want to like that. So, her having that moment had nothing to do with you. It's just a part of her illness. I'm a nurse. I would know. So I was like, okay. So then she said that, look, we can do that facility and, we'll have the money. And then, like, Annalise lets her know that, look, they put a freeze on the insurance claim because my sister-in-law is suing me for the insurance claim. So I don't have any money right now. And then she said that her license is in question because when she got arrested, she was drunk. And that was a violation of her probation and also with the legal board because she promised not to drink. And yet she was drunk. So she could lose everything. Not only all of her possessions, but as far as her career, but also the license to practice, her career. So that was crazy. So, let's see. So then after that, we see that finally Annalise is leaving. And she pretty much tells her father, you know what? Do what you want to do. Because the father was literally, when she locks herself, sometimes the mother locks herself in the room and he uses, this screwdriver to unhinge the lock so he can get in there, and he says, but Annalise lets him know, look, do what you want to do, but anything that goes down, I'm putting on you. And God forbid if anything happens to my mother, so make sure that she's safe. And then he just like, all right, I've had it. I'm sorry for what Clyde did to you. And then she lets him know that she'll call as soon as she lands. And so pretty much she pretty much goes and she sets everything up. And all of them come, and also we see that Michaela and Ashley are still together. They get a text while they're shopping for a new bed, and the actual sales clerk was actually attractive and was kind of being friendly with Michaela, and immediately Ashley got real jealous. Like, yeah, we get new beds for me and my wife, me and my woman, so we can test it out. 1, 2, 3, 4 times. Anytime we want to get it in. And I was just like, Asha, really? Asha is still dingy as hell. I love Asha though, but Asha's a mess. So they get the text, and Michaela really pissed me off this episode because Michaela is such a brat, and she's always in her feelings, and she's just constantly, going off like, oh my God, Annalise invited us to dinner. She's offering us the last supper, and she's like, well, maybe she misses us, and she's like, missing us would have to be an emotion, and she's emotionless. She doesn't have emotions. I'm like, really, Michaela? The problem is that you're too damn emotional. Because if you weren't so damn emotional, you wouldn't have got screwed over by all the men you've been with. Ashley is pretty much the best man you have. Because the ones she had before that all screwed her over. One of them was gay. The other one, was lied about who he was. And the other one was a murderer. So, girl, really? So, we see that go on. And then, and then we saw that Laurel got the text to come to the dinner while she was talking to her father. So they finally all come to the dinner. Laura shows up late, and they're all adamant as to what's going to happen. But before the dinner actually took place, Annalise had to go back because she had to report for her hearing in regards to her getting her license reinstated because she violated her probation not only with the legal board, mainly with the legal board. So they're determining whether they're going to even let her have her license to practice law. But then she tells them everything about her losing West, about, her losing her home, her going through all of these life events. She says that, look, I don't have anything. You can take it all, but taking my license is the only thing I have. So I'm asking and I'm begging you to have mercy on me. because she has been through a lot and she relapsed, and she says that happens. So give me a second chance. So if anything, they all want to know whether is she going to get her license back. So they all sit down at the dinner, and she lets them know that yes, her license has been reinstated, and they're all happy and everything because it's like, oh great, we can get back to being the Keating 5, and well now it's the Keating 4. We can get back to being the Keating 4. We can, they start, talking about, what their next moves are gonna be, and they're happy, and then also, they was pouring wine, and then Laurel says, no, I can't because I'm pregnant, and she says, I decided to keep the baby. So we see that she told her father she had a miscarriage, but then she told the crew that she's still pregnant. I wonder why. But I'm going to definitely get to that, though. So they're all excited, but then, and Annalise wasn't fully finished telling them what she really wanted to tell them. And so eventually she kind of got their attention, and then she was like, look, we made a go of this. We did a lot of great things. And she says that as far as like my reputation and everything, and as far as everything that has happened, I made a mess of things. I ruined Wes. Wes dying was all my fault. And I don't want to take any of you down like I did with him. So she gave them all recommendation letters. And Connor was excited, because Connor's like, finally, I'm liberated. I can move on. Laurel was definitely not keen with it, because she's like, oh, so that's what it is. Things get bad and you can just cut us off, and you don't no longer have to deal with anything anymore. But are we done now? So Laurel, soon she grabs her letter and she leaves. Michaela goes off at the table like, oh, you're just doing this because you're giving us these recommendation letters. We've only been a part of this for 2 years, and you're just going to cut us off like that. You're just using this as an excuse because you don't want to deal with anything. You want to continue to hide, and just goes off. And then Ash is like, for future reference, don't invite somebody to a fancy dinner when you're just gonna, fire them. And then, so everybody left, and then Connor was like, thank you, because Connor's just over everything. And it just makes me mad with these damn kids, because they blame Annalise for everything as if, like, they didn't play a role in half of the bullshit that's happened. She's been risking her life and risking her reputation to protect them. As a matter of fact, she is down in the hole because of their asses. And this is the respect she gets? I will whoop every single one of their asses, because they are just so fucking ungrateful. But then Bonnie is still there, but then we see that they're not the only ones getting recommendation letters. She gave one to Bonnie, so now Bonnie is being let go. And we see that Bonnie has a tear that comes out of her eyes. And the reason why she's doing this is because she has to rebuild her life again. She's made a mess of her life. She's an alcoholic. She's had bad relationships. Her husband's dead. She had all of these things. She had to just break free from it and rebuild. So we actually see that she actually has a court-appointed therapist, and she has to report to him every single day, which is a part of her getting back her license. I mean, she did get back her license, but in order to keep it, she has to go through this therapy sessions, as far as making sure that she's staying on the right path and that she's sane enough to practice her profession. So we see that she's there, pretty much the therapist is like very strict, and he's very serious, and he lets her know that, look, you will have to show up on time, because I'm not here to play any games. You're here to get your life back, and you're here to make things right. And she's like, yeah, I'm serious about my recovery. And he said that, look, you showed up, so that's the first step. Then we actually see that all of them are reading their recommendation letters. We see that Laurel is reading hers, and she gets a text from her father with the picture and saying, like, don't we look great? and then she was about to text him a question, and the question she was about to text him is, why did you kill Wes? So she knows that her father has something to do with Wes dying, but then she changed it and said, I love you. Because she knows her father sees everything, and then all of a sudden Wes dying, and when she was about to go after Charles Mahoney, Dominic stopped her. She knew something was up with that. So she got that from that moment. Charles Mahoney didn't kill Wes. He had nothing to do with it. Her father had that done. But the question is, why did he have Wes killed? And why did she lie and say that she had an abortion, yet we see that she's still pregnant? Because you saw that she had her stomach out. You know, clear sign that this is a woman that is carrying a child. So we saw that go on. Then we see that Connor reads his letter. He's with Oliver. Oliver is still talking about marriage, but then, Connor says that, look, I do want to get married one day. I want to have kids, and I want to have a life, but I want to do it once things are normal, when things are right. I don't want it to be just like some obligation or like just something we have to do. I want it to be organic, and I want it to be real. Then we go to Michaela and Asher. Asher is like, these are really good recommendation letters. She's like, man, fuck her, fuck that bitch, I'm over it. We're gonna have to rebuild our resumes to get us out of here, because this ain't gonna mean shit. Her reputation's soiled, and on top of it, we got to go back to that damn campus and deal with all of the shit that she has caused. We got to walk through those halls and now be, martyrs of Annalise, and I'm over it. So get your resume together. So we see all that went down, and then we get, a fast forward of 3 months later. And 3 months later, we see that the same therapist that's with Annalise, he's coming in with Frank, and they're in the hospital, and they say this woman was drugged or whatever. We come to find out the woman that was drugged was Laurel. And Laurel begins to freak out. She's like, what happened to my baby? Where's my baby? Tell me where my baby is. Where's my baby? And, Frank is right there. So I'm like, wow, something went down. So it's all going to lead to what happened, with Laurel. And, this whole season is going to be crazy. And another thing that happened, too, Bonnie is going to look for another position. And guess who she goes to work for? This bitch goes to get a position with Denver. The one that, the DA that was trying to take down Annalise and was trying to frame Annalise for Wes's death, and was doing all of this, criminal shit, because he was breaking a lot of laws to try to take Annalise down. She's going to interview him because, Nate, who's a detective, actually saw Bonnie. He's like, oh, what are you doing here? She's like, oh, I'm here, for an interview or whatever. And she actually sees that she wanted to go work for Denver. So this is rather going to get kind of interesting. But that's what I have, everybody. If I missed anything, put it down in the comments. But subscribe to my channel. Click that bell so you can get notifications every time I drop a video. And also, I started a GoFundMe. Please check that out. It's in the description box. But like this video, comment on this video, and share this video. And I will be back with the next episode of How to Get Away with Murder. So until then, everybody, take care.